Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Austin Small Business Week kickoff event, State of Small Business. I'm Sylnovia Holt-Rabb, Director of the City of Austin's Economic Development Department. I want to thank the city's Small Business Division for coordinating this event to kick off a week of no cost educational classes and events. There are more than 30 classes and events this week. Whether you're a startup, an existing business, a cooperative, a nonprofit, or a creative professional, there is something for you. We have it all this week, including business plan support, coaching services, legal advice, and much more. Visit our website at smallbizaustin.org for a complete list of classes and panel discussions. We have an informative program this morning, and we all know Austin is a great city to start a small business. For the last 2 years, our community has faced significant challenges due to COVID-19. These challenges included businesses having to shutter, scale back operating hours, change their business model, navigate staffing issues, and find new customers. It was not easy, but you stayed the course and are coming back stronger than ever. We know that although businesses of every type face challenges, we have genuine hope for the future. Together with our community partners, local Austin chambers, and City of Austin departments, we will overcome this collectively. The strength of our collective efforts is on full display this week as the Economic Development Department presents training classes and events to help you move to the next level. Thank you to these providers for hosting classes this week. Economic Development Small Business Division, Development Services Department, Austin Resource Recovery, Small and Minority Business Resource Department, Office of Sustainability, People Fund, EGBI, Big Austin, SCORE of Austin, Tex Health Central Texas, Austin Young Chamber, Loyal Referral Services of Central Texas, U.S. Commercial Service Office, Austin Community College Fashion Incubator, and of course, the Small Business Administration. Now, this leads me to our special guest this morning. Our featured speaker this morning is Mark Madrid, the Associate Administrator for the Office of Entrepreneurial Development at the U.S. Small Business Administration. The Office of Entrepreneurial Development is the technical arm of SBA with a national resource network that includes small business development centers, women business centers, SCORE chapters, and the Office of Entrepreneurial Education. Mark served as CEO of the Latino Business Action Network, a national 501c3 organization focused on strengthening America through funding, supporting U.S. Latino entrepreneurial research and education impact programs at Stanford University. Mark was named the 2019 Silicon Valley Nonprofit CEO of the Year by Silicon Valley Business Journal. Prior to his Silicon Valley stint, Mark served as Executive Director of the Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So he's one of us. He serves on the Board of Trustees for Scholarship America, the leading nonprofit scholarship and educational support organization in the United States. He is an honorary colonel of the United States Army and Jefferson Award recipient. Before his executive role in nonprofits, Mark held a senior executive position in banking that began on Wall Street in 1995 with J.P. Morgan. His passion for small businesses is attributed to his late father, who owned a welding business for over 4 decades. Mark holds a Bachelor of Business Administration from the University of Texas at Austin McCombs School of Business and a Master of Nonprofit Administration degree from the University of Notre Dame Mendoza College of Business. Help me welcome my friend, Mark Madrid.
Oh my goodness, Sylnovia, a joy. Mayor Adler, the City Council, Chambers of Austin, collaborative partners, and most importantly, our small business owners there in Austin and Central Texas. It is so wonderful to be with you. I'm energized to be here. I had, prepared remarks, but I'm just gonna fold them in half because I want to speak from the heart today because I'm with family. You all hold a special place in my heart. Frankly, I wouldn't be here in this wonderful room with these two wonderful flags, the United States flag and the flag of the Small Business Administration here in DC. I wouldn't be here but for going through Austin, Texas, and all the memories that we have there, memories that were euphoric, memories that were difficult, that were challenging. We faced so much together. And I'm looking at a room of chambers and the small business division and the economic development and the city of Austin. We went through that together. We went through so much. And thank you, Sonovia, for that warm introduction. The most important part of that introduction is that I dedicate this experience to my dad. My dad who, he met my mother on the cotton fields in the South Plains of Texas, hoeing cotton as migrant farm workers. That's where the jobs were, in a very small farming community. And my father, who used to draft blueprints on his napkin, but very technical ones. He was brilliant. My niece said about him that he made the ordinary extraordinary. And that was my dad. He opened us up. He opened his welding business because he said, no more, that my future, I'm gonna pave my own path. And my mom supported him every step of the way. And literally he became the go-to welder in the South Plains and the Texas Panhandle. You can drive through there and still see all those structures that my dad built. They will stand the test of time and endure the test of time. I lost my dad to COVID-19. I thought I was gonna lose my mom at the same time. They were in Abilene, Texas. This was the summer of 2020. So we were one of those families, and my sister was positive too. We're a very small family of 5. I thought I was gonna lose both of my parents without seeing them. And so I drove to Abilene as quickly as I could, but I didn't make it. I got to Albuquerque, New Mexico. My dad passed away, but fortunately my mother carried on. I share that story because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my father having the grit and resilience to manage that small business, to make it happen during so many things that this country has gone through 9/11, through the Great Recession, and certainly when he was trying to make sure that there was a level playing field as a job creator, as trying to get into those jobs. And that's what you all face today. You have gone through your own stories of resilience during the pandemic. I don't walk alone. And when I look at you all, service providers that stuck with these small businesses through the thick and thin, let's just take a moment and close our eyes or just flash back to everything that we've been through the last 2.5 years. But yet here we are today on the first day of National Small Business Week, and the national spotlight is on Austin, Texas. And why shouldn't it be? This is a center of innovation. It's a center of a lot of history. It's the center of a convergence of so much good, still with so many challenges. But I'm looking at a room here, this virtual room, that's gonna make it happen. So on behalf of President Biden, Vice President Harris, and our remarkable administrator of the SBA, Isabella Casillas Guzman, I'm delighted to be here and to be with Chamber Blood too. I give it up to the Greater Austin Asian Chamber and Fung Fung, and of course the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce with Laura, and the Greater Austin Black Chamber, Tam, Greater Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Brittany, Austin LGBT Chamber, Tina, Austin Young Chamber of Commerce, Alicia. I know you. We also built one of the most prolific and profound collaborations, the first of its kind that had major impact in the country, working together, and it still is today. And thank you, City of Austin, for your small business support. Small businesses in Austin, are responsible for 2/3 of the net new jobs since 2000. That is remarkable. And you mirror the national average of employing just under half of your private workforce there in Austin. That's the same and mirrors the data that we have for national. So I just have a quick message for you. It's about inform, equip, empower, and inspire. That's what it's all about. Inform. Here at the SBA, we've super scaled from a portfolio of 40 billion to over 1.2 trillion dollars. And it happened overnight. I say that, metaphorically, because you all can mirror that sentiment. But we're here. Pandemic resourcing has been drawn out all across America, across to Puerto Rico and the US territories through our PPP program, the several evolutions of that. I was fortunate to be under this administration when the PPP funding amounts on an average went down. They were more accessible. They were more flexible. With our economic injury disaster loan during this administration, we had limits go up. Our restaurant revitalization fund, our shutter venue operators grant, we're all here for the public. And so we are truly, truly excited about the resilience and those who were able to access need. I call this a new ecosystem of need. And what I'm talking about is 3 pillars of that. One, those who were coming to you pre-pandemic, all those small business owners, and they still are. They're coming back, some of them struggle, some of them survive, some of them are growing and scaling, still others just trying to figure it out. And then we had a new segment of this ecosystem of need come in during the pandemic through no fault of their own. Not talking of all those that came through the pandemic resources that I just mentioned. Some that were eligible and some that were not eligible for whatever reason. The third pillar of the new ecosystem of need is the record number of new business applications that were issued in 2021, over 5.4 million, a record by over 1 million. And so you have those that were coming to you pre-pandemic, those that came to you for the first time through no fault of their own, COVID-19, and those new, resilient and determined and courageous and bold new business owners, the startups that came in at a record pace in 2021. That is a lot. That's a lot. I'm pausing because I'm looking at all of you and all the small business owners that are here. So this is going to take a monumental effort, one that has never been witnessed before, observed before. But you know what the key to that's going to be? Coalition building, and resources and training and education. And so luckily, we have it right here. I'm looking at you and we have it right here, but we've got to keep working together. I can't think of a more bipartisan issue than supporting small businesses. Do you agree? And so I'm excited that under my office, with the support of Administrator Guzman, we launched the $100 million Community Navigator Pilot Program. And the whole essence of that program was on that second pillar of the ecosystem of need, those coming to the SBA for the first time. So we launched this hub and spoke model, meaning hubs, our grantees, and the spokes, the community partners that know our small business owners the best, those who meet the small business owners where they are, like you do. We're going to depend on those 450 spokes across the country and Puerto Rico to help us create more awareness for the SBA programming and programming, frankly, in regions and states and cities like Austin, Texas. And I'm excited that Austin has its own version of the Navigator program through the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Thank you, President Biden and Congress for passing that through. And also, you all, the work that you've done, many of you have done it for decades. Others have been on, are quite new. But I'll tell you what, it's gonna take that institutional memory and that new energy together to support the Central Texas businesses. I always watch Austin, Texas. And so what do we have here at the SBA? Well, we are becoming more customer centric. We're being technology forward and advancing equity. That's the bottom line. That's the charge from Administrator Guzman. We breathe that every single day. That is the basis of our commitment. Although we're low on sleep, we're high on commitment. So what does that mean? Customer centric. We're modernizing the SBA. We're making it more accessible. So I would love for you, I submit for your consideration, take 10 minutes undistracted, no cell phones, no text messages, no Teams messages, and just refamiliarize yourself with SBA.gov sba.gov, SBA like Small Business Administration, and take a look at our programs. More customer-centric. You'll see about our new goals that funnel right up to the president in terms of government contracting and federal procurement opportunities. You'll see information about our incubators through our Office of Investment and Innovation. You'll see the office that I run, the Office of Entrepreneurship, Entrepreneurial Development, that includes the Office of Entrepreneurship Education. You'll see about our Reimagine Emerging Leaders program through our district offices. It's called Thrive. Because, although we're persisting through a pandemic, we're also got the focus. President Biden, Vice President Harris, and our Administrator Guzman, and everybody here at the SBA, the focus on thriving. So you'll see that C-suite level executive education course is available, and now we're recruiting for those programs across the country, including through the San Antonio District Office that supports Austin, Texas. So I want to talk about the second part, because I'm not going to go long today. I'm going to be what Sonovia and Joy said for me to do. I'm going to keep it underneath that time line so I can hear from you. We talked about technology forward. We have to modernize the SBA, and we're doing that. We're doing that through technology. Technology forward is very critical to us, and thus we are working every single day to make sure that we're delivering not only output, but outcomes, and we're going to do that through technology. And advancing equity. I said it in Austin, I said it in California, and I'll say it today in DC. Diversity is America's greatest economic development asset. That's the bottom line. Diversity, all of us. And so when we bring everybody together and honor all those intersectionality elements across all demographics to support small business and job creation, we're going to be better off. So with that said, you'll see so many of our initiatives, especially the Community Navigator Pilot Program and our resource partners, our small business development centers, women's business centers, SCORE chapters, you mentioned them here. We're all about it. We're all about making sure we nurture every situation that's so unique and custom, from Alaska all the way to Southeast Florida, in urban and rural America. So my final pledge to you in terms of the inspiration is I'll draw on a story. I'll draw on the story of the incoming chair of the Greater Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Nellie, who had this idea when I was there in Austin with her French, pastries, Latina entrepreneur. And at that time, she said, Mark, this was 8, 9 years ago at this point? She said, my dream is to have a brick and mortar. She was a Forbes 30 under 30 recipient. In other words, she was educating herself. She was informing herself. She was equipping herself, those things I've talked about, and empowering herself. But here's the part that she kept front of center, and that was inspiration. And the inspiration that she drew was from other small business owners and the resources that she was generating. So 8 years later, I'm happy to report that on 1212 Chicon, Nellie has that French pastry and she has that brick and mortar. And when did she open that business? She opened it during the pandemic. Out of all the times, she had those purchase orders ready to go, and then COVID hit. So I'll bring it back. All of you in Austin, Texas, I want you to know that we talk about you frequently here and the great, at the great SBA, and we can't do it without you. So it is the highest honor imaginable to serve small business owners. And I want to assure you that we're breaking silos here, that all the units of the SBA are working toward that goal from Administrator Guzman that we inherit every single day. And that is to be more customer-centric, technology forward, and advancing equity. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be with you. I look forward to seeing you in person. I love you, Austin, Texas, and it's an honor to be with you today. Happy National Small Business Week. And I hope you have a great week, and I'll be here for the rest of this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark, for those that incredible insight. We will definitely take a look at the website. Like you, economic development is leading with equity across all of our divisions, and especially in our small business division. Again, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us this morning. Now, I would like to welcome Susana Carvajal to introduce the City of Austin Small Business Stronger Than Ever Awards.
Good morning, Austin. Good morning. I'm Susana Carvajal, Assistant Director and Acting Deputy Director for the Economic Development Department at the City of Austin. Thank you so much for joining me at the City of Austin Small Business Stronger Than Ever Awards. Thank you so much, Mark Madrid, for joining us and inspiring us and encourage us to keep on moving with such a personal and inspirational story. Thank you so much for being here with us and celebrating the Small Business Week with us today. I also want to thank the mayor, Steve Adler, Austin City Council members, our city manager, Spencer Cronk, our assistant city manager, Rodney Gonzalez, Veronica Briseño, who was our former boss and assistant city manager now, former director of Economic Development Department, and our newly appointed Sonovia Hotrab, director of Economic Development Department. Javier Zarate, division manager for the small business team. Austin's local chambers, thank you so much for joining us here today. And awesome Austin Independent Business Alliance and their honorees. Small business division staff, you assembled all the amazing Small Business Week classes and events offered at no cost to our community. Bravo, thank you, you've done it, we are here. So relax, enjoy, and be proud of all that you're doing right now for our small business community. Today, we honor 6 Austin small business owners who overcame challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic to stay in business and serve our community. Despite the uncertainty we've experienced in the last 2 years, Austin small business owners persevered through adversities caused by the pandemic. Many created new operating models to stay open, keep their employees on their payroll, and provide services to our local residents. The businesses being honored today were not chosen by us, the Economic Development Department. You were chosen by the membership organizations that you belong to because you represent the resiliency and the entrepreneur spirit that it takes to run a small business. These 6 small businesses are stronger than ever. Each organization's representative and the honoree will appear on the screen and read their submission. After all the honorees are recognized, I welcome everyone to turn on their cameras. I know we all put on beautiful makeup on today. Smile, and we're going to do a group photo with Mark Madrid, our director, Sonovia Hotrab, and our wonderful small business staff. The Small Business Division will send our honorees a certificate saying City of Austin Small Business Stronger Than Ever Award. You are being recognized for your ability to overcome the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. You are an example of what it takes to bounce back stronger, wiser, and deserving of public acclaim. The Austin Small Business Stronger Than Ever Award is presented in acknowledgement of your resiliency and ingenuity on the 2nd day of May, 2022. So let's begin. We will first begin with the Austin LGBT Chamber of Commerce. Congratulations, Celeste Natural Kitchen. You are Stronger Than Ever Business Award. Bravo. And then I will turn it over to the Austin Young Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning. My name is Alicia Palacios Woods, and I'm the president and CEO of the Austin Young Chamber. A big thank you to the City of Austin small business team for organizing so many wonderful events this week to support our small businesses. And of course, a huge thanks to you, Mark, for your inspiring words this morning and for your great work to support small businesses through so many innovative and effective SBA programs. You certainly are making Austin, Texas proud. Today, it is my pleasure to present a Stronger Than Ever Small Business Award to Austin Young Chamber member Booth Easy, led by Jonathan Zhao. Booth Easy takes the photo booth experience to the next level through clean design, great technology, a fun experience, and photos that ensure that guests look amazing. We've had these at our events, and it is a phenomenal experience. Over the last year, Booth Easy has taken great efforts to be safe and innovative and take the photo booth experience to the next level. They have developed touchless photo activations, created new and improved experiences, and doubled down on safety by having their team certified by the CDC and learn proper precautions to execute events safely. On behalf of the Austin Young Chamber, I would like to congratulate Jonathan Zhao and the team at Booth Easy for their innovations in 2022 to make their business stronger than ever. Here to accept the award on behalf of Booth Easy is Olivia Benamati. I'm not sure if she was able to join, but I'll definitely pass it over to her if she is on the Zoom. Congratulations to Booth Easy.
Congratulations to Booth Easy. I also want to step back a little bit and welcome our representative from the Austin LGBT Chamber. I believe our rep has arrived, and I want him to give an opportunity to talk a little bit about his awardee. So if we don't mind going back to Celeste's kitchen and give the Austin Chamber LGBT an opportunity to speak a little bit about Celeste's Natural Kitchen.
Thank you for that. We do appreciate it. We do want to recognize Celeste's Natural Kitchen for this award. Founded by executive chef Gustafsson, she believes that she can heal people through food. One of her greatest joys is cooking food that is delicious and supremely nourishing, and that brings the joy of eating back into the lives of those on restrictive diets. Along her path to become a chef, she attended the California School of Herbal Studies, led workshops for herb companies, and guided wild edible plant walks, taught herbal medicine making, and spent many years refining cooking. She honed her cooking skills by cooking thousands of scratch-made creative meals for a wide variety of diets over 25 years. During the pandemic, Chef Celeste had to rethink her model and responded to not only dietary needs of her customers, but to become a new resource for at-home meals as folks were not dining out as often. She expanded her operations, increased her team, and set to work feeding more Austinites than ever before. We are so excited that she won this award, and congrats, Celeste. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, for joining us, and congratulations again to Celeste's Natural Kitchen. I appreciate that. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we will welcome Fang Fang from the Asian Chamber of Commerce.
Hi, good morning. Thanks, Susanna. Thanks for attending our Austin Small Business Stronger Than Ever Awards. To start your week, I'm Fang Fang, President and the CEO of the Greater Austin Asian Chamber of Commerce. So Chinese delivery has emerged as one of Austin's strongest local businesses in recent years, and we're proud to have them as members of our Asian Chamber. And it's our absolute honor to nominate them to the Stronger Than Ever Awards. So Chinese delivery is very, very special and inspiring. So let me tell you a bit about why. A delivery and carry out only restaurant serving high quality Chinese American food, Cao Chinese Delivery was one of the first businesses to give back to the local community at the start of the pandemic by offering free hot meals to anyone in need. Since the launch of their Cao Giving initiative in 2020, they have continued to give back and support various sectors of the community, including healthcare workers, first responders, teachers, those facing sudden unemployment and food insecurity. As Cao Giving grew as a movement, the initiative has expanded, including partnering with 7 nonprofits, such as Central Texas Food Bank, SAFE, People's Community Clinic, Austin Asian Community Health Initiative, and more to increase the reach and feed even more people. To date, Cao Giving has provided 22,000 meals to those in the Austin area. Cao Chinese Delivery did not escape the massive impact the pandemic had on restaurants, including being forced to make changes to their health and safety protocols and overall operations in order to continue operating the business. Despite the challenges, Cao has been able to increase their total revenue and open a 3rd location on South Congress in November 2021 and continue growth with a 4th location in Round Rock on the horizon. Cao's founder has valued the staff from the beginning. They are one of the few restaurants in Austin that have a no tipping policy, meaning that their employees are paid fair wages without having to rely on tips. Since the pandemic start, Cao has continued to support their team by raising wages, adding health benefits, and a shareable free meals program for their team. So thank you and congratulations to the Cao Chinese Delivery team. Now let's welcome the CEO and co-founder of the Tall Chinese Delivery, Ming Cho.
Hi, everyone. Well, good morning. Thank you, Austin Chamber, for selecting So Chinese Delivery as a recipient of this very heartfelt award. And of course, a special thank you to Feng Feng at the Greater Austin Asian Chamber for nominating us. And Mr. Madrid, wow, what an inspiring speech. It was fantastic. We are truly humbled and very honored by the recognition. I'd also like to congratulate all the recipients here. I'm super happy to see some very familiar faces, and I'm hopeful we can meet together soon, perhaps over a nice meal. If it's all right with everyone, I'd like to share a short story. About a year ago, when the Delta variant of the virus hit our city, one of our own staff members, Jonathan, fell ill. He was a young, healthy man in his mid-20s, and when he was infected with a virus, his teammates and our managers, unbeknownst to me or the other founders, were calling him every day to check on him. They were sending him food to him and his family and making sure that he was okay. And then one morning, unexpectedly, his father called us to let us know that he had passed in his sleep. It was devastating, but as we were crying and mourning the loss of our dear friend, our staff thought of ways to help our community in his memory. They got together and decided they wanted to help in our So Giving initiative by using their own hard-earned food credits to cook hundreds of meals and feed the homeless and those who had food insecurities. Every year, whether it's personal or a business matter, we go through our struggles, and certainly the past couple of years were some of the more challenging moments we've all had to face. Many of our businesses were shut down by mandates, or we closed businesses voluntarily due to the fear of the spread of the virus. And if that wasn't bad enough, many of our friends and family fell ill, and some who had sadly lost their battle with COVID. Our heartfelt condolences to those who had lost their loved ones. Yet, even in these very challenging times, you often find little pockets of examples of resilience and fortitude, or what I like to call my little heroes. At So, our little heroes were found within our own staff members. They inspired me and my co-founders to be better and to do better, and try to be the best version of a hero that we can be. So sometimes trying to be a hero is difficult, but our staff reminded us that being a hero isn't a bad thing, and it doesn't have to be, and that nothing bad can come out of trying to do the right thing. So the Austin Chamber, Asian Chamber, to all the recipients and participants here, I'd like to say thank you for being our little heroes. And before I end, I must send a special thank you to the people who inspired me the most. Those are my co-founders, our Chief Culinary Director and my wife, Jenna Cho, I hope she's watching, and our Chief Technology Officer, Angel Sang, and our Chief People Officer, Angel's wife, Eunice Sang. Just want to say thank you for being my personal heroes. Thank you.
Bravo. Thank you and congratulations. All right, the next chamber that I would like to invite is the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce. Bryce, please let us know if you're able to unmute. Okay, we will unmute you so you could introduce yourself on behalf of the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce and introduce your honoree. And we'll give just a second for us to do that.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, thank you for joining us.
All right, excellent. Thank you for having me. City of Austin, thank you so much. Mark Madrid, thank you for that great introduction and your inspiring words. I'm excited to share our honoree on behalf of the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce. The onset of the pandemic was a shock to all of us. Our lives were turned upside down. As all of you know, businesses were forced to shut their doors and chart a new path forward to help keep themselves afloat. Companies across the country had to be innovative and find ways to deliver their services or discover entirely new services to deliver. The Austin Chamber of Commerce is incredibly proud of our community's resilience. Each time there is a challenge, the business community steps up to help support our community. We have seen businesses help with food and water and other necessities during natural disasters. We have also seen companies step up and help to fight COVID-19 and help our frontline workers and the whole community during COVID-19. Personal protective equipment has been tough to source during different phases of the pandemic. We want to take a moment to recognize one of our local businesses who stepped up to help fill in the gap this community had in acquiring PPE. Early on, during the pandemic, Austin Couch Potatoes shifted their factories from making furnishings to making masks, gowns, and other PPE for our frontline workers. The pivot from furniture to PPE manufacturing was dubbed Furnishing the Frontline. The Austin Chamber, our frontline workers, and our community are grateful for Austin Couch Potatoes' work to make Austin a better and safer place. The efforts they undertook to manufacture and distribute PPE embodies the spirit of Austin and its business community. This effort provided critically needed supplies to the city of Austin and healthcare facilities across the region at just the cost of producing the items. When faced with the prospect of a prolonged closure, Austin Couch Potatoes stepped in and found a way to utilize what they had on hand to help the community. We were faced with an incredibly challenging situation to source PPE in the spring of 2020, said Juan Ortiz, Director of Homeland Security and Emergency Management for the City of Austin. We had been approached by brokers worldwide offering us masks and other PPE at prices 5 to 10 times higher than normal. Having a local company come in and help make us the supplies we needed at a fair price was a literal lifesaver. Austin Couch Potatoes even gave masks away to the public at their local stores across the Austin area. They were able to expand this effort to outside of Austin and helped additional counties with their needs across Texas. The Austin Chamber is excited to recognize the team's incredible work at the Austin Couch Potatoes for their help in making their business community and our community stronger than ever. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can you guys,
Go ahead.
hi, my name is Brian Morgan. I am one of the owners of Couch Potatoes and the Furniture Mall of Texas. And when we got shut down, we just began our factory, really. And we had a hodgepodge of about 15 or 20 formerly incarcerated individuals that we were teaching how to make furniture. Many of these people had been labeled felon for the rest of their lives, never to be contributors to the society ever again, waiting to be employed at the transitional center for months and months and months. And I sat across the table from them, just like I am with you. And I said, can you show up on time to work? Can you be available? I didn't ask what you did. I said, who do you want to be? And can you show up to work on time? And are you willing to learn? And we got started making furniture. And a few years later, we have this crazy thing, this COVID thing that breaks out. And I can tell you the greatest church service I ever went to, the greatest amazing moment in my career was watching people volunteer who were formerly called murderer, drug addict, felon, never to be contributed to society, be the first responders. It's the most amazing thing in the world, to see someone not live under the bridge, but to contribute. And they were heroes. And I told them that day. And their design, we shared with 13 other counties, tons of other furniture manufacturers. And we said, go to work, protect your communities, and use these people's design. And I can't tell you how awesome it's been. I'm still hearing stories about it. In fact, we even were able to engage over 250 at-home sewers who wanted to volunteer but didn't know how to get plugged in. We said, if you've got a sewing machine, we're going to send you a YouTube video. We're going to show you how to sew at home, and we're going to sanitize it, make sure it's all good and safe. And there were over 250 volunteers all over the community that said, also, I'm stuck at home, I want to help. And those masks went to any of our frontline workers at hospitals. Juan Ortiz said, hey, will you make full isolation gowns? And thought it was impossible. And 20 minutes later, we showed them what these people could do. We never went to school. We don't have any titles after our names. We grew up in the roughest part of Austin, but we have integrity, and our parents taught us to work hard and to love our communities. And I have committed our company to loving this city until my last breath. Thank you so much for every one of you guys do here. This is such an honor, and we just want to bring joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you for sharing, and congratulations. I would like to now welcome the Greater Austin Black Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Susanna, and thank you to the City of Austin and the staff for doing this great and important work. It's so vital. I had the honor of hearing some of Mark's incredible words and how small business really is the engine that runs the United States, and it's patriotic to open a business, in particular in the middle of a pandemic. So as the CEO of the Great Austin Black Chamber, we appreciate the ability to highlight the incredible work of our membership. It is with honor that I'm able to introduce a wonderful business that understands how we as a society must bridge both old and new alike. Distant relatives opened during the pandemic and opened during a time of incredible social justice unrest. And so the cultural aspect of this business really gets it. And I think it's a beacon of hope in sometimes a very dark and scary time. Distant Relatives is a modern African-American cuisine restaurant offering a menu that blends traditional flavor profiles with regional barbecue. While guests can find smoked meat by the pound, sandwiches and snacks and sides at the food trailer, the concept explores and celebrates the ingredients, flavors, and heritage of the entire African diaspora through a modern African-American lens, providing an updated taste of these foodways. Though chef and pitmaster and owner Damian Brockway incorporates elements from his fine dining background, his menu imbues many of the nostalgic and culturally significant dishes from his childhood. Making a connection to the foodways and traditions he aims to shine a spotlight on, Brockway focuses on community collaboration, local sourcing, and a zero waste approach. Through the spirit, Damian bridges culture with both American and African traditions. It is my honor to introduce Damian Brockway. I'm not certain if he was able to make it, and if he is not here, we gladly accept this award in his honor.
Congratulations. And I just want to take a moment to make sure that whether or not someone from the honoree is able to accept that award. If not, we'll move to the Greater Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tito St. Diego, and I serve as the Director of Communications and Signature Events for the Greater Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to the City of Austin, Mark Madrid, and the SBA for recognizing the incredible work of small businesses across the nation and in Austin. I'm super happy to speak on behalf of the Cathedral. Built by women, made for all. Austin's own, the Cathedral provides a uniquely historic space, reimagined and curated to provide the community an inspiring locale to work, gather, collaborate, and grow. So much more than a co-working space, the Cathedral masterfully brings together a collective of artists, entrepreneurs, and marketing experts to support community members in the successful pursuit of their passions. Focused intently on supporting organizations committed to women's empowerment and human rights initiatives, the Cathedral welcomes a diverse community representing a range of disciplines and industries. Female-led and female-owned, many of the Cathedral's founding principles have been informed by founder and CEO, Mónica Ceniceros. Her colorful Mexican heritage and vision to create more exposure and opportunities for women artists. The Cathedral's unique and visionary mission serves as an indicator of what the future of Austin looks like. diverse, female-led, colorful, and ever reverent of the backs upon which our community's most meaningful paths to success have been established. Felicidades, Monica, and the Cathedral.
Congratulations. And congratulations to all the Stronger Than Ever Award honorees. Bravo, you're an inspiration to all of us. I now want to welcome all the honorees and their sponsoring chambers to turn on their cameras. Beautiful. We want to take a picture. I'm not sure who's taking the picture. I'm assuming someone's taking the picture because I don't have the camera.
I am. I am.
Good. Okay, let us know when.
Okay. Bryce, Brian, I need for you guys to turn your cameras on. Please. Okay, we're just gonna have little tiny black boxes of them then. Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple of screenshots. So everybody smile. I guess I should probably turn on my camera as well. There's Brian. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Cheese. And then we'll take another one. Austin Small Business. 3, 2, 1. Awesome.
Beautiful.
And I'll make sure.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, before we wrap up, I'm going to plug it in again. Check out smallbizaustin.org for a complete list of all our classes and events this week, again, at no cost. And I want to give you a taste of what we're offering. We have business coaching hour every day from 1 to 2, so check it out. Small business funding panel, very important. Funding, you need funds, right? So make sure you check out Tuesday, May 3rd at 1 p.m. Crowdfunding, another funding source, great. Business training for creatives on Wednesday, May 4th at 11:30 a.m. A legal clinic on Wednesday, go see an attorney, always important. May 4th, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Making a living as an artist. It's a panel discussion on Thursday, May 5th at 11:30 a.m. and small business industry reports on how to use them. Friday, May 6th at 9 a.m. That's just a taste of what we're offering. There's a lot more. Check it out, smallbizaustin.org. Thank you for joining us today. Congratulations again to our honorees. You guys are our role models. You're an inspiration to all of us. Keep on doing what you're doing. You're making Austin the beautiful city that we have. So thank you so much.
I will say this, if there's still anybody that may have a question for Mark, we have him here, so we might as well take full advantage because we never may get him back. So, I mean, if you guys have a question for Mark, please put it in the chat. Joy and I and Susanna and Solnovia will kind of keep an eye on it. I want to thank you for joining us today and for being here, for taking that time. You have reinvigorated me as the class and events coordinator to do more for the small business community. So I appreciate you. I appreciate all the chambers who are here for the hard work that you guys do on a daily basis to try to keep our chambers afloat. I mean, our small businesses afloat, and to our small businesses for always just constantly chugging along and never
We
giving
have a
up.
question.
Yes, all right.
Okay, here we go, Mark. Ready? Okay, it's not, I'm not going to do like 20 questions in like rapid fire, so don't worry. I'll give you time to respond. Okay. What resources and information are available to start a nonprofit organization? Great question. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you for that question. We all here in this room are nonprofits. I want to point you to some academic institutions, frankly, that I'm aware of that could help potentially with a nonprofit startup. One of the resources I have for you is where I earned my master's degree, the Notre Dame Master of Nonprofit Administration. So I'd like for you to check the University of Notre Dame. Also, I would like for you to send me an email, and I'm going to attach my email address to this thread here, mark.madrid@sba.gov. I do want to point you towards some powerful literature that I've acquired over the years, including the nonprofit small business guide that could be helpful to you. Also, I would like to point you to Board Source. That's a powerful opportunity that I've drawn upon throughout the last several decades for toolkit type of resources that will help you with board development, board startup, which I think is a critical piece to the sustainable and enduring nonprofit environment. So I would just, education that we've talked about here is going to be critical for you. And I'd be happy to touch base with you offline to get you more resources. Thank you for that question. We need our nonprofits.
That's right. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. That's great information and great insight. All right. I believe anybody else?
Yes, and they said, ACC as well, Austin Community College, a shout out to ACC. So I'm thrilled that is an opportunity for you as well.
All right. We have one more. Ryan. Mr. Madrid, how can I honorably, properly help so many potential employees gain proper status as employees in the state? So many seek employment, but can't figure out the best way forward. Are there any programs to help train our business?
Well, I want to make sure that I underscore, bold, and underline the free resources and educational resources that are here at the SBA. So there is a litany of them available through sba.gov in terms of education. If you have a specific question that I feel like you might have a more specific question, please use that email address, mark.madrid@sba.gov, so that I can power you more. I will tell you that there is a community navigator, tier 1 grantee, which is our largest grantee, called the International Rescue Committee, the IRC, that could probably help you out. And so we have Brian reaching out as well. Thank you, Brian. Before I get off, I'd just like to say, Min and Brian, your stories are this is why we're here. It's what you described. I express condolences to you, Min, for the loss of your employee. And Brian, talking about second chance hiring and the impact that those folks made right there in your community that both of you love. I can't think of a more amazing note to start National Small Business Week and Small Business Week in Austin than those two testimonies. Those should drive everything that we do. That's going to be my oxygen, I guarantee you, as we go forward through this week. So thank you so much for having me. I love you all in Austin, Texas. Take care, and we'll see you again in person sometime, hopefully sooner than later.